If you want to start a metal stamping business, then this is the video for you. I'm sharing how to stand out in a competitive market, where you can source your materials, and the challenges you need to watch out for. Hi, my name is May Pak, and I help makers, artists, and designers make a consistent income from selling their handmade products online. So today I'm going to talk about how to get your metal stamping business started. Metal stamping is the art of imprinting pre-made letters or designs called stamps onto a piece of metal using a hammer. You can definitely get so creative with this, but primarily metal stamping is used to make jewelry or small keepsake items. So there are a lot of advantages to a metal stamping business, and here's why you want to start one. What I love most about metal stamping is that it's a great craft to get into if you're creative, but don't have what I would call traditional artistic skills like drawing or illustrating or painting. Like with me, I cannot draw to save my life, okay? And with so many stamps available, you have unlimited options for your designs. And of course, if you'd like to go this route, you can have custom metal stamps designed for you, which would increase your design possibilities even more. Now, if you're looking to learn metal stamping techniques, Beaducation has a great playlist that will give you a ton of information. So personalization is also a huge draw for people, and metal stamping is a great way to offer customers a personalized product without having to design an item totally from scratch every single time. For example, stamping the name Alex on a bracelet takes the same amount of time as stamping the name Jane, and yet those two customers would be equally delighted by their personalized items. So if you compare this to creating a custom dress design or a personalized portrait, which can take dozens of hours to make, then it is pretty clear that metal stamping is not only fast to do, but also appeals to people's love and the trend of personalized products. So there are a lot of ticked checkboxes here that a metal stamping business has. While there are a lot of great advantages, you also have some challenges to look out for. The biggest challenge with starting a metal stamping business is the upfront cost of your tools and materials. To do metal stamping at a professional quality level, you need at minimum a set of metal stamps, a specifically designed hammer, bench blocks, and hole punch. However, your business likely won't be successful if you just had one font and one decorative stamp, right? So you can expect to invest in a comprehensive library of stamps as you're testing out different styles, which can quickly add up. I absolutely love this video from Make It Kate, who is a metal stamper. In this video, she tells you everything she's learned about selecting tools and what she wishes she'd known when she got started. So you'll definitely want to watch this if you're serious about getting started. The key takeaways though from Kate is that it's essential to invest in quality tools, or else your metal stamping results will look sloppy. And you'll also waste a lot of raw material. So waste is a huge challenge for metal stamping. Like if you're stamping the bracelet with the saying, not all who wander are lost, and you misstamp the S, now the whole bracelet's wrecked and you can't use it. This is different from a craft like knitting, where you can just unravel the last few stitches. So developing your technique and aiming for a flawless execution is going to be crucial. The last challenge I want to mention is that metal stamping is a crowded marketplace, so it's going to be crucial that you distinguish yourself from your competitors, which this video will help you do. Now let's talk about the products that you're going to stock in your shop. Now remember that you need to make sure that your shop is offering products that people are excited about buying, otherwise you won't make a lot of sales. And in a crowded space like metal stamping, it's essential that your shop has a direction and a focus that resonates with people. And this should be unique to you and your shop. So you've got to take some time here to figure this out, okay? You can start by thinking about the tools and materials that you're most attracted to working with. Does creating custom ring dishes as bridal party gifts appeal to you? Or maybe having a limited number of stamps and making dog tags is a product line that you're personally drawn to. Or inspirational bracelets for people that want to live a healthy lifestyle. This is where the real research and discovery work happens. So get on Etsy and check out what other metal stamping shops are offering. Now, I'm not advocating for you to copy other people's work, okay? This is just research to see what is trending right now and what people are excited about. You want to look not only at other metal stampers, but also look at what's trending more generally. Are you seeing a lot of dog collars? Then maybe that bolsters your confidence in making dog tags, right? Are you seeing lots of knitters purchasing custom wooden tags for their finished products? Well, then maybe you could stand out by offering a metal version. Etsy is my go-to for doing this kind of research because so much of the information is public. Next, you'll need to think about what kind of special sauce you can add to your products to really make them stand out. Like, do you offer amazing gift wrapping? Or maybe all of your products have a steampunk theme to them. Or maybe every piece of jewelry you create has heart-shaped hole punches. You know, it doesn't have to be some new invention that no one else is doing. It just needs to be your own unique spin to it. So you don't have to get too complicated with this, okay? Remember, simple is best. Next, I want to talk about pricing. For the nitty-gritty on how to price your products, you'll want to check out my pricing video right here. But one of the things that you'll need to consider with this type of business is how much time it takes you to make the whole product, including adding on chains and polishing, and not just the stamping time, okay? I see too many business owners not factoring this in, which leads them to undercharging for their products. Another important factor is what the market can bear. So the way that you can find this out is by hopping back onto Etsy and figuring out what other shops are charging for products that are similar to yours. The more specific that you can get here, the better. But just keep in mind, as you're doing Etsy research, most shops on Etsy are undercharging. So take what you see with a grain of salt. And if you've done your research or maybe even experimented in your own shop and you suspect that you won't be able to sell your basic bracelets for the money that you need to make it worth it, then it might be time to go back to the drawing board and brainstorm new product options. Okay, so let's move on to supplies. So I see a lot of businesses buying their supplies at retail prices, which means they go to the craft store and buy their supplies at the same price everyone else pays, or waiting until a big box store has a discount coupon before you buy your new font of alphabet stamps. This is a very hard way to run a successful business. When you purchase an item from a retail store like Michael's or Joann's, you're usually paying 50% more than you would if you purchase them at wholesale or bulk prices. So if you're purchasing significant quantities of metal blanks and chains, you should be able to purchase it wholesale to save a lot of money. Impress Art is a leader in metal stamping supplies, and they have an artisan program which gives you discounts depending on the quantity you purchase. So for large quantities, it is worth trying to get as close to the source as possible. Alibaba is a site that allows you to connect directly to factories in China, which allows you to purchase large quantities of materials like chains and findings at very low prices. But be aware though that they aren't always truthful about the metal content of the pieces, and you will need to order very large quantities to make it work for you. And I think it's important to mention quality here. Your supply chain is the starting point of everything you'll make. You'll find that the cost difference between a run-of-the-mill blank and a really stand-out unique one aren't too far apart in price in smaller quantities. And a customer might happily pay more for a distinctive piece of jewelry, and you're doing the same stamping work for each. So think carefully about your quality and the pricing when selecting your supplies. You may find that the path that works best for you isn't finding the lowest price materials, but you might head to Etsy and purchase blanks from another small business that gives your business that special sauce that it's looking for. Okay, so now that you have the supply chain in line, it's time to start thinking about marketing your business. If you want to hear me go on forever about how much more awesome your own website is compared to Etsy, then you'll want to pop over to this video right here. But in short, Etsy is fine and can even be a good place to start if you don't care to ever make your business a full-time income, but you should have your sights set on launching your own site if you want it to financially support you. You'll also want to make sure that you have a collection of product photos that you can use in your marketing materials. Don't forget to include some lifestyle photos that show your products in a real world setting, like someone wearing your necklace or your trinket dish sitting on a coffee table, because these photos are great for social media and they also help the customer picture your item in real life, in their real life. If you're struggling over your logo, head on over to somewhere like Creative Market or Fiverr. On these sites, you can get either a template to use yourself or have someone else use a template to make you a logo. And they're surprisingly custom looking and usually modern and on trend. I actually have a video here where I've tested out several different Fiverr logo designers, so you can check out the results and what you might get by working with a Fiverr designer. Now, once you have all of that set up, it's time to start marketing your business. So influencer marketing and media outreach is especially effective when it comes to lifestyle products like jewelry and gifts and accessories. It's one thing, right, to see a picture of a nice necklace, but it's a whole other thing to see that necklace on a person you admire or look up to, or displayed on the pages of a magazine that you love reading. If you can get someone who has a really big audience, I'm talking like tens of thousands and upwards of people, to wear and promote your products on a platform like Instagram or YouTube or on their own website, chances are high that their followers will become your loyal customers as well. But how do you get influencers and movers and shakers to work with you for free, especially when you're just starting out, right? And don't you have to pay money to get featured? Well, that's why I suggest working with micro-influencers, or just be very, very specific and be very highly targeted with the influencers that you reach out to. So micro-influencers are people who have only a few thousand but very highly engaged followers, and they're still on the rise, or they're people who have huge audiences but who don't get pitched jewelry very often. So influencers are always looking for interesting content ideas for their audience and cool products to share with their followers, right? So by sending them a free product you know they'll love and providing them with like an exclusive discount coupon they can share with their fans, you're actually giving them valuable content for their audience, which in turn allows them to grow. So sure, you'll need to cover the cost of making and shipping them your jewelry or your gift item, but even if a single person buys your product, you'll have made your money back. Also, don't forget that influencers are friends with other influencers. So getting your products out there is always going to be better than just keeping your products at home where no one's going to see it. That's how I got my jewelry on the TV show Parks and Recreation, where Amy Poehler wore one of my necklaces. It was because my jewelry was featured on a small blogger's website, and I didn't even know that happened. And the wardrobe stylist of the TV show happened to be a reader of that site and found my work on there. So you could end up on bigger influencers' radars just from the mere act of putting yourself out there. And it is totally a myth that you have to pay to play. I've gotten featured in dozens of influencers and blogs, websites and magazines and YouTube channels, and I've only ever paid for it once. Influencer and media outreach is so powerful. It's how I started and established a consistent income for all of my businesses. If you want to learn more about how to do this, I have a free workshop you can watch that I'll link in the description box below this video. I'll show you how I send my emails to influencers, what I say, and that entire process. Now, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, okay? And leave a comment if you have any questions for me, and subscribe to my channel for more handmade business tips. Don't forget to stay on to watch this next video on the screen.